I feel not whole. I feel not myself. Hey friends, it's Wahima. I am a 38-year-old cisgendered female from Southern California, and in this video I will be talking about my laparoscopic myomectomy experience. I just want to thank you guys for the love and support that I have been receiving ever since starting this channel. If you are unfamiliar with my story, I will have linked above my fibroid journey. I will also have linked at the end of this video and in the description box the video where I explain my pre-op experience and the things that I knew going into surgery. Please know that I'm not saying that this should be your experience. I'm just detailing what my experience was. I will also be creating a second video that talks about the items that I recommend to make your aftercare pleasant. I went into this surgery very naive. I always hear about people having surgery, so for me, I guess I just went into this thinking that it wasn't really a big deal, that it was just a hurdle along my journey becoming a single mother by choice. I did not know how having instruments in me, rooting around, cutting things out, removing stuff, even though there's stuff that I don't need and want, would affect me mentally. So that's number one. Number two, I did watch a couple of videos here on YouTube from women who had gone through this exact process. For me, either their experience is not the same experience that I'm having, and or their language kind of played down what this experience is. Perhaps it could have been because majority of them had already had their children. You know, they've already gone through a physical change in their body by being pregnant and having a child. I've not had any major surgeries on my body. The only surgeries that I've had prior to this laparoscopic myomectomy was a hysterectomy where they went in to get fibroids the first time, and that was through my vagina. So in this procedure that I had on February 12th, happy Black History Month. I forgot. It's almost the end of Black History Month, you guys. Happy Black History Month. I had both a hysterectomy and a laparoscopic myomectomy. Now, I might be saying the word hysterectomy wrong. I'm going to say a lot of things wrong throughout this journey. I'm also might give information out that is incorrect. I'm already being corrected in the comment section, so I'm well aware of it. But let me just start off this video with telling you that this is not an instructional video. This is just my personal experience. So the first thing I did, and the first advice that I received when I watched a bunch of videos, was that you should tidy up your home before you go into this process, because you will not be able to do certain things while you are, in fact, you won't be able to do anything really, let's be honest, while you are healing from this process. For surgery, my call time was 5:30 a.m., curtain was 7 a.m., and they got your girl in smoothly. Because I was not allowed to eat before surgery, I had to stop eating at midnight the day prior, or the morning of at midnight. I was hungry, and so I get migraines when I don't eat. I get migraines for everything, but especially when I don't eat. So I was hungry, I had a migraine. He was trying to ask me the appropriate questions, but still taking into consideration that I had a migraine. He asked me on a scale of 1 to 10 how bad the pain was. I said 8 because I didn't want to say anything less and have them not give me medication. But they kept telling me that I would be fine, that the surgery would start soon, and that I probably wouldn't need the Imitrex. But in my mind, I was like, you never know what could happen. I need the Imitrex now. It turns out that they were correct. Anesthesiologist ended up coming in smelling to high heaven with all the cologne I think that was offered in that one bottle. It was just really early in the morning for him to smell so thick and pungent with whatever that smell was. And so he came in and spoke to me. Then his nurse came in and spoke with me. And then I had the OR nurse. I also had the other doctor who was an OBGYN who was attending the surgery. I actually had my surgeon come in, Dr. Sarah. So Dr. Sarah came in. She was very kind to me. She explained everything that she was going to do, what she was going to try to do. And I begged her to save my ovaries if that could all be possible, if for whatever reason she needed to do a hysterectomy. And she's like, oh, absolutely, do not worry. Do not worry. I'm not going to do anything that's going to damage you. Like, you'll be fine. I'm going to give you some medication right now that's going to stop the blood flow to that area of your body. And so hopefully when we go in, there'll be very, very little blood that we have to manage while we're doing the surgery. So I said, okay, and I reminded her to take pictures for me if she could remember, and she said that she would. So Dr. Sarah went off. I laid there for a little bit. Then they started giving me the medication. Your girl started feeling real calm. It was the most exciting part of it for me. I was being wheeled off into the OR. I remember that, and I remember like briefly being like, okay, we're gonna move her over from this gurney to this thing, and then lights out, she woke up 6 hours later. So I wake up in a dark space and I hear boop, boop, beep, beep. I'm like, and the nurse is like, oh, you're awake. And she told me it was 1:40, that I had been out of surgery for about an hour. And I asked her if the doctor was coming to speak to me. And she was like, oh, no, no. And I was just like immediately put in a place of annoyance. I really wanted to talk to the doctor. As you guys know, that like I'm really involved in this process and I want to know every single thing that went on. At that point, I think I started to feel a little uncared for. I think that was the point where I was just like, oh, okay, so I'm not going to be told anything and I'm just going to be sent home. I'm going to have to lay here and just like wonder. I'm starting to move around because I've been stiff, and I feel the incision because she made about a maybe 5-inch incision at the top of my pubic hair where my pubic hair would grow in. And she told me she was going to do this because that's where she pulled the fibroids out of. Basically, she made 4 incisions, or 4 sort of holes in my stomach right above my belly button. And I'm assuming those are the sort of robot arms that go in. And then she made an incision lower towards my uterus so that she can like remove the fibroids from that incision. That is what I felt initially, is the pain from that. I'm going to use the word pain and not pressure because I think sometimes they use the word pressure and then I tend to take that in as like pressure, not pain. And I was just like, man, I have to pee so bad. Like I had to pee so bad, you guys. And I told the nurse that, I believe her name was Veronica. And she was like, okay, it might just be the pain, but yeah, maybe you'd have to try to pee. So she put a bedpan underneath me and I kept trying to pee. Like I kept trying to pee and pushing. And then I thought, well, maybe I'm embarrassed because like it's really hard for an adult to pee on themselves. At least for me, it was really hard for me to pee on myself. And so I kept trying to pee and I couldn't. And I remember having this issue the second time I had a hysteroctopy and the nurse being like, okay, you can't pee? All right, let's get up and let's walk around. Let's go to the bathroom. And then I was able to pee at that moment. But in this moment, my throat is hurting because they had a tube down my throat to help me breathe. And I'm just kind of generally like woozy and in pain, but I knew I had to pee. And the pain was getting worse, I think, as my bladder was filling up, which I don't necessarily know if that was going on, but thinking back on it, that might have been what was going on in my body. So she had that bedpan underneath me for, I want to say, an hour. I could be exaggerating, but I just kept trying to pee and I couldn't, and she wouldn't listen to me. She kept telling me that the urge that I was having to pee wasn't an urge to pee. It was just because of the pain in the incision. And so that was like another level of me just feeling unsupported. I ended up not liking my post-op nurse. I mean, I think she did her best, but it just wasn't the care that I was used to receiving or thought I should receive after having this like crazy thing happen to me. Finally, I insisted that we get up and go to the bathroom. And she's like, okay, we'll go. I'm telling you though, that's not it. We'll go to the bathroom. So she helps me walk to the bathroom, and it is the worst pain that I think I have ever felt in my entire life trying to go to the bathroom. And I knew that I was in trouble at that point. I grossly underestimated how and what this surgery was and what it would do to my body and how it would affect me. I get to the bathroom. She asks me if I want her to come in, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I want you to come in. So she came in with me, and then I had to learn to like let her help me sit down on the toilet, let her wipe me, even though like she basically just squirted water at my vagina, pat, 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 and pulled my pants up. But girl, I peed, and it was single-handedly one of the best feelings of my entire life. I peed for so long. It was an Austin Powers pee. Like I peed, then it stopped, then I like peed a little, and then I stopped, then some more. And then Veronica's over here like, oh, thank Lord. Oh, thank you, Jesus. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. I've been told you that I had to go to the bathroom. Okay? You are the one who told me that I didn't have to go. So don't thank God now. Thank me. She helped me get up, which, girl, when you can't get up from a toilet seat, it really does put your life into perspective. I'm not going to be okay getting older and not being able to do things for myself. I have been so independent in all of my life that these last 2 weeks have been very hard on your girl. Anywho, she picks me up, she takes me back to my room, and then she's like, okay, well, you know, you're scheduled to leave at 4, but we can keep you longer if you like. And I was like, absolutely not. I would like to go home, please, right away. And she was like, okay, well, just lay down a little bit. And in my mind, I'm already frustrated because she hasn't been listening to me. She told me that the doctor wasn't going to come and see me. So it's like, what the F am I doing here? I might as well be in some place where I'm comfortable and people are listening to me. She then starts the preparation of saying, you know, okay, I'm going to call your family. And so I was like, cool. So she calls my dad. My dad then tells her that, this is quote, she's like, Mr. Lino, your daughter is ready. And my dad's like, okay, my daughter is out and she's gonna come and pick her up. So I'm gonna call my daughter. And Veronica's like, Mr. Lino, no, you don't understand. Your daughter is ready. And he's like, okay, my other daughter is in the area and she will come and pick her up. So I will call her. And then Veronica's like, no, just give me her number. I'll call her. So meanwhile, I have my phone out and I'm texting my sister. So they call my sister to come and get me, but Veronica still has like a checklist of things that she needs to do. And I'm not aware of this. I'm thinking my sister gets here, she calls down for somebody to wheel me out and I'm gone. And so then Veronica starts to like do all this stuff, ask me questions. And then I start to put my clothes on and she's like, wait, let me help you. And I'm like, no, I need to go home now. So then she finally sets up some sort of IV where she starts to give me like hydration through the IV. And my sister's downstairs. I'm sitting there shaking and antsy. And I'm like, you almost done? She's like, almost 60%. And then like 10 minutes later, she's like, okay, we're done. And I was like, thanks, Veronica. Huddle with all my belongings, like time to go. So a woman comes down and she takes me down to the car. I get to the car. It is a very painful ride home. Luckily, I do have a pillow because that's something that I heard in a video and I had it and it helped. And I get home. My dad takes me out of the car and he's old. I'm starting to see now because me leaning on him was hard on me spiritually. And we get into the house and anytime I feel the pain from my incision, it immediately makes me nauseous. When I was walking to the bathroom initially with Veronica, nauseous. So I'm now realizing that I'm going to throw up. The pain is too much. And anytime I feel too much pain, I'm going to throw up. So I'm like, shoot. So we get to the base of the stairs, we're in the house, and I'm like, okay, everyone, I'm going to throw up. Blah! And that vomit went through my entire being. The amount of pain I felt from using my abdomen was ridiculous. Veronica had basically already slapped my hand away from touching my incisions, so all I wanted to do was touch them and make sure that nothing split. I ended up getting upstairs, my sister undressed me, gave me some medication, and then I was able to like communicate. So this entire time I'm able to communicate and talk to people, but the belly hurts so bad. And we were given no instructions on like physically how to assist me. Basically, it was like, don't get your Band-Aids wet. If you develop a fever, let us know. So I'm trying to make sure that the pain I'm feeling is real pain and not an infection, which wasn't the thing I needed to do. This whole process really took a toll on me mentally. It really scared me. I went through a depression. My 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th day, like, let me tell you, I didn't want to get out of the bed, even though day 2 and day 3, I was trying to get out of the bed a lot. I was trying to walk. My sister kept telling me to sit down and to call her if I needed anything and to be more communicative. But in my mind, I just felt like nobody really wants to take care of me. So like, why should I just lay here? Like, I should try to get up and do stuff. No one is going to, give me the help that I need. And that's what my mind went into, very much like self-protection and you're all that you've got, and nobody really loves you, and if they did, they would just be sitting here waiting for you to ask for stuff, and they would be on time with knowing when you wanted food or medication. You wouldn't have to ask, and it was really difficult for me. So I kept trying to walk. I kept trying to go to the bathroom on my own. The first night though was hell. I literally woke up every hour to go to the bathroom. I was laying on my back. which I should not have been doing, but I did not know that. And my sister had to sleep on the floor right beside my bed and wake up with me like I was a newborn, to the point where I was like, okay, we had some adult diapers in the house. Don't ask me why, it's a whole other story. And I was like, okay, let's put the adult diapers on me because like I can't keep getting you up. And she's like, okay. Then I put the adult diaper on, laying in my bed, can't pee. It was like the hospital all over again. So the moral of the story is that she cannot pee laying down at this point. If she's gonna pee, she needs to have gravity with her. So every hour we got up to go to the bathroom, and I sat there, and then she helped me up. I wiped myself. Mind you guys, I'm on my period, so me and my sister grew exponentially close. Even when I had to wash up, I washed up while sitting on the toilet, and like with like a little basin of hot water while I just like washed my body. Because you know they don't really wash you in the hospital, right? Trying to get like the hospital iodine and grime and like whatever off of my body that I can't really see because of my melanated skin. And it is a lot those first couple of days, and I kept fighting it. Finally, I relaxed into what was happening to me, and I allowed everyone to help me, and I asked for help when I needed it. But I really did push myself to be able to walk to the bathroom on my own. I don't know how smart that was, because even now when I get up and I'm exactly 2 weeks post-op, I still feel pain. Or strain, I guess you can say. Like I feel like my muscles in my abdomen are like pulling against each other. Now, here's another thing that I also feel. I feel a loss. I feel like my organs are not right down there. I feel like my bladder is upset. I feel like my uterus is sore and she's just in the corner like I feel not whole. I feel not myself. I don't know when I'm going to feel whole. I don't know when I'm going to feel myself. I have not been walking. Because I'm worried about it. I did go out the other day to get some sort of disability paperwork done and doctor's notes and everything for my job. And I came home and took a 2.5-hour nap afterwards. Like it was that taxing on me. And I don't know if it's because I haven't been moving as much. I don't know if it's because I just don't know what's happening in my body, and it scares me. It's terrifying. So that coupled with the like depression has been a harder feat than I thought it was. Like I really did not expect this side effect of having surgery. I did not expect to feel a loss in my body. So I'm working through it. I can walk by myself, going up and down the stairs. I'm very, very careful because I don't want to fall. I'm still not lifting anything. I think that I do need to go on some walks, but obviously I can't go on the walks by myself. I don't know if I should be even walking up hills or exerting myself too much. I just don't know where I am in the process. And yes, I could reach out to my doctor and ask, but I think everyone heals differently. And she can tell me that there are certain things that I should be feeling and I shouldn't be feeling. But I just want to I want to give myself grace, a grace that I'm not giving myself. I'm not giving myself the opportunity to heal properly. I'm not loving myself through this because it feels like if I do so, then I'll be being a baby and I won't be as strong as I'm known to be, and I won't be as fierce and independent as I think of myself. And that has been very difficult. Otherwise though, I highly recommend you having somebody to help you through this process. My sister was absolutely lovely through this whole thing. She was very supportive of me. Thank you, Sawai, so much for all your support. And yeah, it was real humbling. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I was a naked like little baby chicken trying to like get her feet again, and it was hard. Harder than I expected. I did not plan for this. I wasn't eating as much in the first couple of days because my throat was hurting so bad, but I did manage to get down some toast, which was probably the wrong thing because it was super dry. I should have had soup. I now know, but I couldn't eat. People kept asking me if I wanted food, and I'm like, I can't. Like right now, I don't want it. I finally learned also by like day 2 that I needed to sleep upright. Like I needed to pack pillows around me and sleep upright, which is something that if I had known prior to, it would have been so much easier to pee in the bed had I been sleeping up. It would have been a lot less strain those first 2 days. if I had known that sleeping up for me was the key. I'm now sleeping on my back or on my side. I do wake up stiff and in pain, but I'm happy to be able to lay down, because for a while, like, I couldn't. Even if I had a pillow underneath my knee, it was something about like the pulling and the elevation with the incision, it just didn't work out. I'm able to go to the bathroom by myself, obviously. I still have discharge because I had the hysteroscopy as well. So basically they went up in through my vagina to get fibroids, and they went in through my belly to get fibroids. They ended up taking 15 fibroids out in total. And I immediately, when I weighed myself, I think like on day 5, I had lost 6 pounds. So the fibroids were about 6 pounds. That's a whole baby. So I still feel some pulling in my abdomen, obviously. My wounds themselves, they do hurt. Let me show you, because I know I showed you guys before. So let's see. So I have here, and I have here, and I have here, and I have here. And then my last wound is right here. The incision is right here. And so this is still stiff and sore. Like, I feel like it's real stiff right here. And I've also been having night sweats, which I don't quite understand. So that is something that's weird. And it didn't happen my first 2 nights, or my first nights. It actually started the second week. And so I was worried that I was like feverish, or maybe it was my body fighting off infection. I don't know. But for like 5 nights in a row, on day, I would say 8, 9, 10, I was so hot at night. I mean, dripping. Like, I was having like hot flashes or something. So that worried me, because I was like, ma, it took away all my estrogen. On the bright side, I'm really hopeful that I will heal well. In about 2 months, I will feel normal. 10 months after that, my uterus will have healed completely, and I will be able to attempt to do IVF. And your mind goes through a lot, especially when you don't have to work, and especially when you can't like get up and walk downstairs. I did not go outside for a full week. I didn't go downstairs for 7 days. And then when I went downstairs, I finally went outside. Hadn't gotten my vitamin D. It's still a little taxing on me. When I do go outside, I come back in and I rest. So I just don't know. Am I lazy? Like, that's my fear, is that I'm just lazy. But I know I'm not. So I have to give myself grace, and I hope that you'll give yourself grace too if you find yourself in my position. I will probably give you guys more detail once I get further and further away from this part of the surgery. Once I have my final conversation with my doctor mid-March, where she can show me the pictures of the fibroids and like give me a little bit more explanation as to what's going on with my uterus. I did end up having a conversation with her on day 5 where she called me, and it was so relieving when she called me. She explained that I would be having discharge for a while because of the hysteroscopy, and I imagine that if I'm still sore when I talk to her mid-March, then we'll see what we need to do from there. But having her talk to me really did ease some of my pain and took away a lot of my frustration. Being vulnerable with my family has been really hard. So make sure that whomever you get to help you understands that they may need to be emotionally helpful as well. All right, you guys, so that is the end of my story. That is the end of my experience. Please let me know what you think. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I will be doing a Q&A. I hope that you guys have a fantastic week, and remember that all we can do is our best. Okay. Bye.